Let's go game by game through this slate right here and talk about these here football games on Georgia's schedule this season. Nice and simple. Marshall and Austin Peay, couple of dubs to start the season. All right, there's no doubt about that. But what is major key in these first two football games is that they handle their business, right? We talked so much this offseason about trying to watch the young guys and being like, bro, no tape.
None.
No tape on the young guys.
It was Tennessee Tech.
That was it. You didn't
Clemson.
handle business against UMass. You didn't handle business against, sorry to do this, Mississippi State. You didn't handle business, sorry to do this, against Kentucky. You didn't handle business in football games that in years prior, you had opportunities midway through the fourth quarter to get some opportunities. I think you got to handle it.
I think the 2s and 3s got more reps against Clemson than they did any other game in the season.
Yeah.
Like usually like Georgia Tech is a game where you can get some 2s in. Obviously Mississippi State, those types of teams are the opportunities for it. Did not happen last year, and I think it hurt you in the end.
All right, let's move right on to Tennessee. First road game of the year. First road game in Gunnar Stockton's career.
Yeah. Did you do score predictions for these games? Or?
No.
Okay,
just wins and losses.
Okay.
I'm not doing score predictions till we get to week of.
Fair.
On to that Tennessee football game. I have been very adamant. You're going to hear constant themes in these picks from me personally. I will not pick Tennessee to ever beat Georgia until it happens. I firmly believe that if any football program in the world has an answer for Tennessee's offensive scheme, it's Georgia, and it's only because of personnel decisions that they have made year over year, time after time, recruit class after recruit class. They are a big-bodied box, and you just don't run the football against them successfully. So I will pick Georgia until it stops or until I'm proven wrong in doing so. I don't think Tennessee scores enough points in that football game to win.
No, I think, too, like something that we didn't even mention during the national hour when we were talking about Tennessee is that there's questions about the wide receiver room, but they are banged up at wide receiver right now. Mike Matthews is already missing time. Brazel is missing time as well. Like they have like 4 healthy guys right now in the wide receiver room. Like the other day, they had
2 of them are freshmen.
So they're not getting a whole bunch of reps right now because they are banged up. You get Tennessee early on in the season as well. And I think Georgia still definitely has the personnel to where they can play Tennessee how they want to. So those things combined, I just don't see this being a favorable early matchup for Tennessee.
Your prediction's very akin to mine in that you're not picking Tennessee until they do it.
Yeah.
I'm not picking Tennessee to score 20 points against Georgia until they do it.
That's exactly what I wrote. The only route to Georgia losing this is they're incapable of scoring 20.
Exactly, and I don't see that. That's why, as hostile as that environment's going to be, as much as it might lead to some mistakes by Gunnar Stockton, as much as there might be a big momentum play for Tennessee to swing, I don't see an avenue where Georgia gets held to under 23 points in this game.
So we all got them 3-0 going into the bye week, waiting on Alabama to come to town.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys know how I am with this. I will not pick Georgia in the regular season against Alabama until it happens.
Understandable.
So I think that's the analysis.
Lame.
Sorry.
It's fair.
Lame analysis.
I get it. I mean, it is one that you're 1-9 the last 10 matchups.
But here's the real analysis, okay? And it's why I think it's a bad matchup for Georgia. Georgia this year, their success offensively, in my opinion, will be dependent, not solely, but will be dependent on running the football. Mm-hmm. Will you be able to run the ball successfully in order to open up play action, all that good stuff, deep shot, all that good stuff? If anybody's personnel department or personnel on paper is big enough to stop Georgia consistently right now off rip on paper, it's Alabama's.
Most definitely. I mean, it's all, look, there's all great reasons to be there. And Kirby Smart will never tell you that they have games circled. Georgia players always say, oh, we're always focused on next week. They've got this game circled. This is a very, very important game to them. It's coming off of the bye week. They are going to be repping Alabama come Marshall week, come Austin Peay week. They're going to be mixing it in half and half.
It should be noted for people who don't know. I know you guys do. Bama's off the bye week too.
Yeah.
So there's no advantage here.
No,
both teams coming off byes.
I think that the slight, and now both teams get this, but I think that there is a slight advantage too of like neither one of these teams are going to be coming in not knowing the other quarterback. Because, well, maybe to an extent for Alabama because of Georgia's, but they played Tennessee the week before, so no, it's a moot point. But Alabama has formidable opponents before Georgia. So like you're going to get a look at both of these quarterbacks, what they're trying to do with them offensively. So I don't even think you can have that in this discussion either. I just think that like for me, it's been since 2015. I feel like this game has been like boiling up for Georgia fans. Like the next time that they get Alabama in Sanford Stadium. And like when Sanford Stadium gets one of those moments, gets one of those games, you can't tell me that it's not impactful. I mean, there is legitimate data between I think Georgia over the last 4 years at Sanford Stadium has created more false starts than any other program in college football. Like that's a legitimate advantage for them. I just think that the environment, everything to what Kirby said, like this is going to be one of those circled matchups, but it is for both teams. That's why I'm going to say right now today that Georgia is going to win that.
I'm going
Georgia. You're taking Georgia. I'm taking Bama. We're all taking Georgia over Kentucky.
Yeah.
Mark Stoops don't have a prayer.
This is in Athens, all right? We got to worry about
Kentucky and Athens never works.
I mean, you can 100% bet that they're going to cover with a late touchdown, but outside of that.
For as much as you can guarantee that Georgia will struggle in Lexington, you can guarantee they beat the shit out of they beat the hell. Can we say hell?
Yeah.
They beat the hell out of Kentucky and Athens.
Dude. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Beat the Wildcat poopy out.
Was that the first one of the night?
I think so.
Damn,
no, I dropped the shit earlier.
You dropped the shit?
Yeah, I dropped the shit earlier.
Man.
That was all.
During the live stream?
Guys, we're trying. We're making concerted efforts.
We're doing our best.
Yeah. I think we're getting better about it.
For sure.
Yeah. I think it's a habit I'm going to have to break.
I think the decrease in F-bombs has been...
I also think that we have gotten to a point in our show where we feel most comfortable almost riffing at times, just being our true selves.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it's an error in my own personal morality.
Yeah.
I swear.
To be honest with you, when the cameras go off, we say bad words.
Yeah, me say bad words. We all got a dub at Kentucky. We all got a dub at Auburn.
I think so, right, Kirby?
Yeah, right, Kirby? We all got a dub at Auburn, right? I know. Hey, spooky stadium. Good roster. Hugh Freeze does kind of get together a game plan every once in a while. Hugh Freeze does a really, really good job of losing this one close. But, you know, what you got going on, Curb?
I went into this schedule and looked at it saying, you have program record win streaks against Georgia Tech, Auburn, Florida, Tennessee. There's a lot of them this year. I don't see an avenue where you make it out of this season with this schedule continuing all of those records. So if I had to pick one, I would say it's probably going to be Auburn against a Hugh Freeze team that has shown you that they can give you everything you want to handle in this environment in a very difficult stadium. So I am picking Auburn to win this game.
Breaking news, Christian Kirby says Brock Bowers ain't coming through that door.
That is a fact. Brock Bowers is not on your team this year.
Drew Bobo is, though.
Drew Bobo is on that team, though.
Damn, I'm getting my fandom question now. I knew this was going to happen, dude.
I mean, it's like I should say the boldest, but like of all the games to pick a loss, that's certainly one of them that you're going to ruffle some feathers. That's okay. I want you to be honest. If that's how you honestly feel, I'm okay with it. You
don't think by like the 19th time they run the same RPO that it's going to get picked off in an important situation?
It should.
Might.
If
statistically likely.
If in, what was it, May of 2023, I'd sat there and you were like, you think Peyton Thorne's going to have a 60-yard run against that defense?
That's fair.
There were very much things that happened in that game where like,
I also felt like they were sleepwalking as a football team last year against Auburn.
For sure.
So we'll see. I got it as a dub. Kirby, thinks Georgia's terrible. Ole Miss at home. I'm picking Georgia in this one based solely off the Ole Miss don't travel well.
I was about to say, remember the stat.
Yeah, Ole Miss.
They do not travel well.
You get this game at home, you got a chance to win it, and historically win it big.
Yeah, Ole Miss doesn't travel well. Kirby does not like losing to Lane Kiffin. I can guarantee you that. And coming off of a loss to Auburn, this team's going to be fired up. They're going to beat Ole Miss.
That's crazy. They're calling you AJC Kirby in the chat.
Oh, come on, guys.
That's nuts. It's a respectable brand.
Yeah, I mean, one of the bigger journalism brands in the state of Georgia.
They're connected with some good people.
I'll take it.
Yeah, they got good folk.
I'll take AJC Kirby.
Yeah, the offense doesn't travel well. Also, I don't think they got the defensive firepower this year to be out.
No, I mean, that defensive line last year just shredded Georgia for 4 quarters.
And, if I'm a Tennessee fan here, who's to say if it wasn't raining during that game, Georgia doesn't win? So All right, come on, man.
I think a solid footing would have created more setback on that offensive line.
Yeah.
A good get off would have been even worse for Georgia's.
Don't think holding on to the football was an issue or anything like that.
Yeah, no. That was, we can't block these dudes today.
Oh, yeah.
For 4 quarters.
No, they could
That
not.
was a tough game, but no, that won't happen this year. Georgia will be ready, and
We got a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Everybody's got Georgia in this football game. Austin Simmons wild card though. I think by the time there's an opportunity of all these games that we're picking today, there's an opportunity that my feeling on that football game changes drastically by the time it actually arrives.
Well, I think that there's at this point in the season, I think there's multiple. I think that your opinion or even our opinion could change about Auburn. Your opinion on Ole Miss could change. Your opinion on Florida, who we're going to talk about next, could change. There's several games right here that very easily could change.
Fresh off a bye week, you go down to Jacksonville annually and take on Florida. I think at this point in the season, Florida's one of 2 places: in shambles or a real tough out.
Yeah,
No in between.
And I kind of wanted to think that, okay, Florida's going to be the team to get you this year. And then my mind went to, this is a November game. We have no idea. What is DJ Lagway going to look like? Is DJ Lagway going to play in this game because of health? We saw it last year. Florida fans will tell you Florida would have won that game if DJ Lagway didn't get hurt. Reality was he is. DJ Lagway gets hurt a good bit. I can't promise that he's going to be available for this game, so I'm going to pick Georgia, but it would be a close game.
What I don't think would be a good recipe for success against Georgia for DJ Lagway in Florida is kind of showing the same things that they did on tape last year for DJ Lagway and asking him to do difficult things against a defense that we are assuming is going to be really good. I think that simplifying things might be a little bit better, but if they're asking DJ Lagway to make the throw every other down, I just don't see that being a recipe for success.
And let's not act like DJ Lagway was torching Georgia last year. It was
one throw, really.
He had a really good throw on a play action.
Guys, it only takes 5 of those throws to lose a football game.
For sure.
How often does Georgia give up 5 of those?
He hit one of them in 6 attempts.
Okay.
He takes 30 of them a game.
That was his
statistically proven he gonna hit.
That was his second completion. He was.
But that's their offense.
I get it.
Their offense is chunk plays through the pass.
Okay,
I get
what they do. So explosive plays will get you beat. And if that guy is throwing the ball like he's supposed to, he's scary.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that DJ Lagway's
definitely respect him as a passer.
Also, we also have to remember your quarterback was, wetting down his leg. If all of the games where Carson was like, "What is this?"
Bro was letting it rip.
Bro was like, "Whoa."
Unconscious and bad kind of unconscious.
You know when you're playing one of those video games and you're down by so much, you're just like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to throw it.
Yes.
That's how Carson Beck was playing.
Yes. Absolutely. Like when you're playing NASCAR when you're a kid. Y'all play NASCAR? Getting your brains beat in by your best friend, so you just turn around and try to hit him. Yeah. That's basically the style. But no, I got a win over Florida. We all got wins.
Yeah, win over Florida.
Now I want to say this about that game. That's a run football game. Mm-hmm. Whoever wins the ground game in that one statistically wins it every year.
And definitely this year too. These are 2 teams that have good running backs, are going to be relying on the run game.
And if I told you Florida outrushed Georgia this year, would you be shocked?
Not completely shocked.
They're going to be able to run the football, I think, unless they have a walk, or Harrison Bailey or a walk-on playing quarterback. Then they're going to struggle to move the football. But if DJ Lagway is healthy, I think they're going to be able to run the rock. At Mississippi State, Georgia steamroll.
Should be.
I hope so.
Should be. All right, so we got them 1 loss right here, or at least I do. You don't. They're still undefeated with Jay Will.
Oh yeah, they're still undefeated for me.
Undefeated with Jay Will, and you got them losing to Auburn.
1 loss.
They beat Alabama, which okay. Texas. What do y'all got going on this?
For me, and I think that this season for me is you go 1-1 against Texas and Alabama. I think that that's the scenario I see. Now, there is certainly a chance that you do potentially go undefeated with the schedule, but I think that you're going to go 1-1 against one of those teams. So for that reason, I have Georgia beating Alabama earlier in the year. I have them losing to Texas, and I've said this before about this football game. I think that this could very easily be the deciding factor for the SEC championship game. It could also be that both teams are going to play again in Atlanta very shortly after this football game, but I think that this game will be like whoever wins this game is locked in for this conference championship game. So the stakes are going to be huge, and you're also going to play Texas at a point in time where Arch Manning has a ton of reps behind it. Like, this is not going to be some slightly inexperienced quarterback at all by this point. So I think that you're going to get Texas at full strength at this point in the year, and I think that Steve Sarkisian, while he didn't have much success last year against Georgia's defense, I think after seeing it for a third time this year in less than a year, I think he's going to get some shots against you. I think he's going to have some success.
Third time's the charm.
I think it potentially could be. I think for an offensive mind like that, like,
I don't think it is.
Well, I think I thought this way a little bit about Lane Kiffin last year. Like, he saw it multiple times against Georgia, and then he finally got them. Now it was at the hands of a really good defense, but they're moving the ball pretty effectively. So I feel that way about Steve Sarkisian, like a really good offensive mind. It just feels like there's going to be a time where he's going to get you. Like, he's going to have that great game plan. He's going to be able to put together the perfect game plan. I think it could be one of those games.
I just feel like, having watched both of those defensive performances, by the way, same exact game plan, in my opinion. Now, Schumann might feel differently, but I felt like Georgia came out 2 times in a row against Texas and basically said this right here. Early downs, we're playing a 50 down front. We're going to put 5 guys on the offensive line's front. We're going to make sure you cannot run stretch zone around our wide nines. Okay, so we're going to take care of that. Did it both football games. I felt like rendered them inefficient in the run game on first and second down. You can throw whatever box score stat at me you want to. I'm telling you what the film says and how they got to the victory. All right, now, pass-wise, all right, all they did was mix middle field coverage, middle field open, middle field close the entire football game. They played a lot of like single high, and then the moment they didn't play single high, playing a little bit of two high back there, mixing that coverage like we talked about with stopping Texas is what is required. I saw them repeat game plans twice, and Sark have no answer for them. So Sark gave them 8 quarters and couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, and now I do want to put like a caveat in the SEC championship game, because I do feel like both teams kind of unspokenly were like, we're not going to take anything new out of the box for this, because this is a game that, in theory, we'll say whatever we want in front of the podium, does not matter. Either one of us can lose this game. Now, Kirby calling a fake punt kind of throws that theory down the toilet, but to your point, I don't think either of them tried anything super new. It's kind of just, all right, we're going to line up and play and see if we can beat them with our schemes.
I mean, I'd have to go back and look. How many times did Texas run that bluff screen that they damn near scored on?
I don't remember.
You know what play?
Yeah, I know exactly.
But also,
tried to run it first play of the game.
Also,
and it got tipped by Michael Williams.
To your point, also, Kirby did admit to saying this game did not matter.
Yeah,
he straight up said after the game,
yeah.
He was like, and he said that's why I called the fake punt, because I kind of knew in the back of my mind, if it doesn't work out, we're going to be okay regardless.
So with that, I would say that Texas last year, I feel like, for as much as a Steve Sarkisian offense is very good, for as much as, we talked about, I mean, that team went to the Final Four last year, the offense didn't feel as dangerous. They had a good running game, but the running back room was banged up last year. They had a good quarterback, but he wasn't exactly mobile, might have had some arm limitations, might have been battling an injury throughout the season. I feel like Texas's offense, it might not be as talented, it might not be as name-heavy this year, it will be more dangerous. And I think that is the issue that you're going to run into with Georgia's defense. And for as much as we talk about how, Georgia's tired of Alabama having their number, Texas is a little bit tired of that. Now, it's only been one season, it was 2 games, but you lose twice to one team in the same season, it gets frustrating, and you definitely say, all right, that's a team I want to beat this year. Texas will place emphasis on it.
Are you picking Texas to win?
Yeah.
Is that what you just did?
I'm as it stands right.
2 losses?
Correct.
Okay.
Win streak against Auburn ends, and the home win streak ends.
That in fairness,
just killing.
And if you want to talk about consistency, I did say Georgia's home win streak ends this season. So,
Charlotte dub.
Yeah,
man, we were 12 months away from seeing the Poge in real life.
God, dude, that makes me so sad.
It makes me pissed.
I would have brought him an ice cream.
Honestly, we should invite him and offer to pay for his flight, even though Lord knows that millionaire doesn't need
Brooks,
what's he doing?
You can't do that.
He's back managing a hedge fund, I would imagine.
No, Brooks, we can't invite him to this matchup late November because he is part of Michigan's football staff, and they have a 9th conference game to play.
That's right.
So we can't take him away from that 9th conference game against Iowa late in the season, because that is one of the most important football games of the entire year. So while Georgia gets to lollygag around and play Charlotte after going through the schedule that we just rattled off, asking a coach to step away from a 9th conference game is just it's insane.
I don't know,
way too much.
I wouldn't be too sure about lollygagging, guys.
Do you think they let him cut the sleeves off up there in Michigan?
I hope so. I need Biff Poggi late November with snow falling in the cutoff.
Sleeveless Poggi in late November, like get frostbite. But no, I think Charlotte beats Georgia.
Diamonds out there, brother. Georgia Tech.
No one caught that.
You said Charlotte.
I said Charlotte. Georgia's not losing to Charlotte, guys. Trust me.
Georgia Tech. I think they got something for Georgia Tech this year.
Yeah,
I just got a feeling.
This is a weird. Last year was such a weird game.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a team come out flatter and somehow win that football game. Like, that was 3.5 quarters of like, oh, I guess they're playing now. And then a miracle fumble puts you into an overtime that we know how that ends up. I don't think Kirby's going to let that happen again. But on the adverse, like, as heartbroken as Georgia Tech fans were last year, as much as Brent Key and you know, Haynes King was talking about, I'm tired of losing, these guys crying after the game, like, Tech's going to have that one circled. I don't think they're going to win the game, but Tech will give Georgia a fight, or try to give Georgia a fight.
I'll say this first. I think it's the right decision for them to do this, but I think putting this game in Mercedes-Benz was one of the worst mistakes for them. Like, as far like I understand
they changed
why.
the name.
No, they didn't. They can say they changed the name. They did not change the name.
Yeah, they're official. Like, the official name of it this year is the Invesco,
the Atlanta Gridiron matchup or something like that.
Yeah, like it's not that clean old fashioned hate.
It's not that. It's clean old fashioned hate.
They sold the name to the rivalry.
I don't know.
I guess it's like for this
I think the
year.
Benz has put a new name on the rivalry. But again,
well, when they make the deal to try to drum up revenue for the stadium and you can't get enough ticket sales because it's Georgia Tech football, no offense, but it's Georgia Tech football, then you have to do something to recoup the revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to sell the naming rights to the game. That's got to be the first regular season game to ever have its naming rights sold.
I would guess so.
It has to be.
And again, I don't know what the naming rights for a game are, because I don't know if you own that or if it's just the nickname for it.
Plus, how does that work? Because Georgia Tech is the one that did it. So, like, is it only that when Georgia Tech gets the game? But next year...
No, it's only that in that stadium.
Well, I think what it is that the game that's being played there is being titled as such by the venue that's hosting it. Like the Aflac kickoff game that they hold in the Brens. Like, that's what, you know... Like, they call, like, Clemson and Georgia has a rivalry nickname. I don't remember what it is, but like, it was called the Aflac kickoff game that year. So I think that's where it's going with that.
All right, so to recap right here, I've got Georgia winning their first 2 weeks of the season, obviously against Marshall and Austin Peay. I've got them taking a win on the road, going into the bye week 3-0 after a win in Knoxville against Tennessee. I've got them losing after the bye week at home to Alabama. I've got them beating Kentucky in big fashion at home, as they usually do in the Mark Stoops era. I've got them at Auburn, winning a close one in a very spooky stadium that seems to give Georgia problems out there every time they go out there. Ole Miss, I could feel very differently about this midway through the season, considering what's going to happen with Austin Simmons, depending on what happens with Austin Simmons, who I think is immensely talented. But that being said, I don't think Ole Miss's offense travels very well historically. Getting this game at home lets me know that I feel safe picking Georgia in that one. Bye week, headed down to Florida. I got them winning that one again for what, the 9th year in a row? How many times is that? Our 5th year in a row against the Florida Gators. I got them beating Mississippi State in massive fashion. I've got them beating Texas at home because they are solid defensively against that Steve Sarkisian unit. I've got them beating Charlotte and beating Georgia Tech for a season-ending record of 11-1. I'll go ahead and tell you, preseason, I'm predicting Texas to beat them in the SEC championship game in a rematch.
So, obviously, that's an SEC championship team. Is 10-2 enough, you think?
I don't know. I don't know if 10-2. I think 10-2's got you in some type of tiebreaker to get in the SEC.
I mean, that's 10-2 wasn't enough last year until Alabama and Texas A&M. Absolutely.
The real question is, if you're 10-2, do you even want to go?
This was the discussion.
Doesn't play.
This was the discussion we had last year. And look, for all reasons, if
you don't play, Carson Beck's in the playoff with you.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change much about that Notre Dame game?
Probably not. It might change who you get. You might be on that Ohio State side of that bracket anyways. You might have gotten throttled.
Yeah, might have.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know that. We know Kirby definitely wants to play in it. He loves the SEC championship games.
Does he?
He says he does.
He says he does.
He talked that talk.
Does Kirby Smart?
I think he does.
I think he does.
I mean,
why would he lie about liking
He made coaching decisions last year to win that game.
This is true.
He went out of his way to win that football game. So I felt like, it does matter to him.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, said like the game really didn't matter, and we were playing with house money.
Afterwards.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think Kirby Smart cares about every game he plays in and wants to win it, but I remember last year watching the Texas A&M and Auburn game and be like cheering for Texas A&M, like, no, please do not get upset by Auburn.
There's definitely fans that don't want to play in that game.
All right.
Especially with this year where the seeding isn't
straight up.
It's straight up seeding. Like, you can win the title and you're not even guaranteed to bye. So, yeah, I don't want to play the SEC championship.
All right, keys to your prediction. You've got them 10-2. We've got them 11-1. My keys to the prediction, I got 3 of them. I think the number one key to Georgia offensively this year, apart from running the football successfully, which I should say is number 1. The number 2 key to Georgia this year, in my prediction, is whether or not Ryan Puglisi, they feel like, is good enough to let him play. And the reason that's important is because I am of the belief that Gunnar Stockton is only going to be Gunnar Stockton if he's able to play like a linebacker. If he's able to go out there and you can say, hey, buddy, play balls to the wall today. We got you behind you. If you get hurt, we're okay. But if they've got to do this thing like they did in 2019, is the last time I remember it, and 2020, where Jake Fromm's their quarterback, or 2019, it's like, hey, Jake, if you get hurt, we're screwed. So don't you dare go take off running.
We got to play this guy named Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, who's a walk-on. We're and wearing number 22. If he's got to play, we're in trouble. So Jake, be careful. If they've got to apply that same process with Gunnar because they don't know if they're quite ready, Puglisi's not quite ready to go. If we play him, we're not quite. If that's the situation, I don't know if Gunnar's his true self. This guy's got to be able to go out and play with free will and free reign. Also, on top of that, it's all offensively to me. I think they're going to be Georgia defensively. They're a top 25 unit as long as Glenn Schumann's breathing. I know last year was an anomaly, but look at the schedule. All right, especially the road games in that schedule. But no, I think they're going to be who they are defensively. Are they able to run the ball? And is the wide receiver corps finally what they are on paper?
That's a great one. One of my major keys to this is not having to get punched in the face before you start playing a football game. I've hammered that statistic numerous times. The Clemson game, the Alabama game, the Florida game, the Georgia Tech game. There's a handful that you can think of to where it felt like Georgia was kind of sleepwalking until they woke up and said, oh, we're down 3-10 in the halftime, or oh, we're down 2 scores. I guess we need to start playing football. It felt like more than ever Georgia was playing catch up. That does not need to happen this year. And I think if it doesn't, if you prevent that and you start early on teams, this team will be very, very successful. I have them. That's why I have you beating Alabama. That's why I have you going making an SEC title game most likely. But I think the main indicator of that is if you are able to play 60 minutes of football without having to go, oh yeah, we're playing a football game now. Like that is such an important aspect, I think, that gets overlooked.
I think that my first one is going to sound so basic, and it's because it is, but it's something that Georgia didn't exactly do last year. I think you have to be consistently great at both running the football and stopping the run this year. I mean, that feels like something that Georgia has always done, but last year was not one of those cases, and I think that it got them in some sticky situations last year, and I think it definitely resulted in you losing some football games last year. Number 2, it can be boiled down to something way simpler, but I'm going to put it as this. There is no jumping off sides on 3rd and short anymore, and there are no false starts on 4th and short this year. Just be disciplined. You got to be disciplined in the moments that it is required. You have to. These are the cannot do's. We can't have those moments anymore this year. You can't be doing things like that. Things that we know, you expect Georgia, no way one of their players does that in one of those moments. Can't have that this year.
Yeah, that was the second. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, if you had more than
my second one was get back to it's kind of piggybacking off yours. Get back to playing Georgia football. You don't have to have a smothering defense. You don't have to have a high flying offense. You don't have to have a savvy underdog quarterback. I felt like more so than ever last year, teams out Georgia in that they out disciplined you, they out executed you, in the margins when it mattered most, they performed better. It's why, you've pointed out,
I thought Ole Miss brought the physicality to you.
Yeah, even that.
Ole Miss brought punching gloves to you, and you were not ready.
Even that, so many instances last year where I think Georgia was one of the most penalized teams they've ever been under Kirby Smart. Minor things like that to where you can point to and say, oh, the wide receiver drops, and oh, the quarterback was bad, and oh, we couldn't run the football, and the defense was bad in first half starts. I think all of that gets handled if you just get back to playing the most consistent version of. If you're the most consistent team on the field for 12 weeks in a row, there's no reason why you can't win all of your games.
Peyton Murray says Georgia has on paper the best wide receiver corps in football this year. No, they do not. It would be Ohio State.
Unfortunately, a bar.
They're good.
Just to let y'all know, the old-fashioned hate game, is not sponsored.
It's not sponsored. It's not been sold. It's just been renamed by the
That's what I'm saying. I think Mercedes.
Yeah.
I think Arthur Blank and Mercedes-Benz was just like, we're going to call this the Atlanta Gridiron matchup or whatever.
Yeah, it's the Invesco QQQ gridiron matchup in Atlanta. I don't know why.
Piggybacking off of what I was saying about consistently being great at running the football, Nate Frazier has to be a guy this year.
Yeah.
Clean up the fumbles. Ball security, baby, high and tight. Got to keep it like that. So I think Nate Frazier has to be like a cornerstone of this offense. I think he has to be one of the biggest difference makers for them. And then continuing on difference makers, I think Kristen Miller and C.J. Allen have to be up for national awards at the end of the year. Those are the types of seasons that Georgia needs out of those two guys, where C.J. Allen is a finalist for the Butt Kiss and Kristen Miller is a finalist for All-American, all those things. Like, those are the types of seasons that you need out of those two guys, because they are, I think, going to be your two biggest difference makers, and they need to play like it. They need to play like they are potential first-round picks next year.
All right. Do we have nostalgic tape?
I've got one more.
Okay,
I've got one more key to it. Fixing but maintaining certain areas of special teams. I don't think they had a muff punt last year. Or at least one.
And they gave up punt return yardage last year. What the hell was that?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't think the weird thing is, like, Georgia didn't muff a punt last year. There wasn't a costly turnover because of someone muffing a punt or something like that. But they gave up punt return yards. They gave up a kick return touchdown. Things like that you don't typically see. I think Peyton Woodring was extremely consistent in the field goal game, but there were other areas which, like, that never happened. So maintain the good things about it. Keep not muffing punts, continue consistency in field goals, but punt return yardages I mean, you got Brett Thorson out for the season because you guys couldn't field or cover on punt. Like, certain things like that. Like, you could even argue that if you don't let Notre Dame return that kick for a touchdown in the second half, you might have a chance at winning that game. Maybe. So special teams really hurt you in certain areas last year where it helped you in others. It was interesting. So those are my three keys to maintaining my predictions.
Love it, Curb. Even though, you had them 10-2, so.
I mean,
I
damn.
I can't wait. They're going to be giving you smoke when they see us in pregame instead of me. So thank you for that.
I stand by what I said.
The amount of cross looks I got at Alabama last year, because I think the first time I had picked against them in probably 4 or 5 years. It had been a long time. The amount of staffers that came out and was like,
dude, well, look, I'm well aware of it. This dates back to the 2023 SEC Championship when Georgia was undefeated going in. Alabama limped there, and I was like, look, guys, I think Alabama wins this game. Everyone hated me for it. I remember that.
Boy, that was the championship game where I was like, hey, last mistake loses this one. Mm-hmm. The last mistake will lose this football game.
Yep.
Fumble inside you 20.
Yep.
Lose by a score. We got nostalgic.
We're pulling it up right now.
Let me see if I can.
Is it a good one?
I might have to go different.
Okay.
But no, I think that look, the law of averages states you are on historic win streaks against 5 or 6 SEC teams, all the while maintaining a home win streak that is the longest in program history. Something has to give at some point. Is that not wrong? Like last year, you were on a regular season win streak of 3 seasons. At some point, that had to end. I feel like we're at a point now where the home win streak's probably going to end at some point. I think it's this season. Auburn, while they might not be that good, is not the can that you've kicked around the last 4 or 5 years. Florida's getting better. Tennessee's getting better. Like all of these teams are at least getting better to the point where beating them is not an easy cakewalk that it was for you for the last 5 or 6 years. So that's where I'm going with that.
I think I pulled up the wrong film.
A certain junior college defensive tackle is back at practice.
For Georgia?
No. A JUCO defensive tackle is back practicing with his team. He's at practice right now.
That's a good sign.
Right? That's why I said it.